we are back to do the second one now. So I'm going to do the more challenging shape coral. I'm going to do the one that looks like loads of little tubes coming up out of the ground. So I'm going to start in the same sort of place as my other one. And I'm going to do it about the same sort of size as well. So I've resharpened my pencil because it got a little bit blunt at the top. I'm going to start with the very, very centre tube. So then it's easier for me to start in the centre and then go outwards. If I start outwards, I'm then going to start going over further than I know where to go. Whereas I can see exactly this is the centre and then I can draw the rest around it. So I'm going to start down here. I'll move you over slightly. There we go. So I'm going to start very, very lightly down the bottom here. And I'm going to draw upwards into this sort of odd looking tube shape. There we go. You may have noticed that when I'm drawing, I'll do a lot of little lines as I'm drawing, rather than just going like that. I will draw loads of little lines as I'm going along, and that helps me to make the shape that I want. Because it's like trying to draw a circle the first time going like that. It's very, very difficult. So then I'm going to move on to the ones that go out from it. So this one here, I'm going to draw this small one. We're going to try and get them in proportion to each other. So this one here goes out like so and goes back in there. And these all have like little circles in them as well at the top. Like that. And then there's a little one down here. So there's one that sits slightly behind. So it doesn't start anywhere. It kind of starts from up here and then joins the other one. So that one goes like that, and then it goes and stops here. There we go. And that has like a small little circle up there. And then it has a weird looking like leg coming out the side. So it goes up, it's like a small little leg or an arm coming out the side. And that goes, you can always see how far it goes up. So like when I'm looking at the picture, it goes to about here. So just before it gets to the circle, that's where the leg sort of stops. And then it has kind of a little pointy thing that sticks out the top of it. Like so. Then the next one goes, the one that's off to the right here, it kind of goes to the side and sits about there. So this one starts from the bottom and it goes up out of this one and then goes round back in a little bit and then comes back down and joins to that one there. And then the very, very last one is over the very, very outside here. So it goes to about there and it's circular on the top and then joins back in. So every time I'm doing it, they're not joining back to the floor, kind of the sea floor, they're joining back to each of the different tubes. So next one I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the ones on the left hand side now. So I'm going to start with the one that's next to it. So this one goes up to about here. I feel like this one should be maybe a bit longer than that actually, because this one's supposed to be the big one in the middle and it's not looking very long. So I'm going to draw that up to about there, because especially that one's supposed to be smaller than it and it wasn't. So always thinking of the different proportions to the other plants and so on. So I'm going to draw this one coming out the side like that. There's a little pointy bit there. And then I'm going to leave the line there. It's not actually that square, so I'm going to go a bit rounded there. So this actually doesn't join back because there's another tube in front of it. So I'm going to draw the bigger tube a bit further over here. And then that actually joins down to the floor. Like so. And then it has the little circle there. And then there's one behind it that joins to the floor and goes up and goes down like that. And you can always edit it. If it's the first time you've done this and when I'm drawing it, I'm seeing that things don't really look right compared to the other ones, you can edit it. That's totally fine. So I've done this one. I think he's supposed to sit a bit further up than that. I don't think he's supposed to be that lopsided either. Right, there we go. And then you have a small little one coming out of the bottom. It's a bit rounded up the top. And goes out like that and has a small circle. There we go. So what I'm going to actually do with my ruler is I'm going to draw a line across the bottom because everything looks a bit lopsided at the moment. So there we go, I'm happy with that. And then this one I think should go a little bit further up. This little one here, because it's looking a little bit lopsided. So I'm going to redraw that one going up to about there. That looks a bit better. And as you can see, I'm kind of smudging the bits here. So if you want to, you can put a piece of paper under your hand if you're right-handed, or if you're left-handed. You'll probably end up smudging parts as you go along. And then I'm going to draw a leaf looking thing. Goes along here, comes back down, and then this bit goes slightly out, goes round and then back like so. I don't think there's that much of a gap between the two though, so I don't know why I've drawn it that far away. There we go. And then it comes down like that. And then you have another little tube that goes behind these two. Goes round and then comes back and joins into that one there. And that has a little circle on the top. And then you have one that's behind these ones, but it's supposed to have a gap in between. So I'm going to rub that out, draw that a little bit skinnier. This one needs to go down here, like so, and then the other one can go behind it. So this one, imagine this one's up here, and then you're drawing it up like that, and it comes down about halfway in between that one there. So that's the back one. And then we have this one that joins in the gap here. So I'm going to join that up. These don't have little circles on them anymore. This one, these are more square at the top rather than rounded. And then the next one goes off the back. This one's more rounded. Goes down slightly and then joins in the middle of these ones here. There we go. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with how that sits. Make sure that you're drawing very, very lightly as you go along, and then afterwards, if you're happy with it, you can go over it a little bit darker if you seem to have smudged it, but don't do it really, really hard, because again, we don't need big black outlines. So I'm happy with my shapes. I'm just going over them slightly. So there we go. I'm happy with that coral. So I'm gonna just check my proportions are correct. So this one's supposed to be quite long compared to the other one, just checking where they all sit in regards to one another. There we go. I think this one's supposed to go down a little bit slightly. And then this one sits up like that. Okay, so have a go at your second one. Again, it doesn't have to be the more challenging one. You can do 2 simple ones, or you can do 2 challenging ones, or 1 simple one and 1 challenging one. It's totally up to you how well you think you'll be able to do it. But give a go at them, and we'll be moving on to adding colour pencil in a sec.